Hey everyone, welcome to the Coach's Corner here on the NAIA Women's Volleyball page. I'm your host, Danielle Mosquito. Today I'm joined by Head Coach Kyle Kuether of the Bismarck State College Mystics. Um, Coach, how's your summer going? How's everything going out there in Bismarck?
It's good. It's just going a little too fast, but
Yeah,
it's good.
no doubt. You guys are jumping into the Frontier Conference this year, making the leap into the NAIA. But you've guided the Mystics to 119 and 33 record, three straight Mondat conferences, and a 2022 JUCO national tournament berth. Now that you guys are jumping into the NAIA, when you took over this program in the spring of 2020, what were you looking forward to, and what were your priorities when you jumped into the head coaching role?
Um, yeah, I mean, it was kind of um, it was fun and it was exciting and it was kind of, I mean, it was pretty unique because that was, right during COVID. So my first year was the COVID year. So I had accepted the position, and then I think like 3 months later, I got a call from from one of our athletic people here and basically said like, "Hey, your season's canceled." So I had no idea what I was just like, what did I just sign up for? I could have stayed in high school but uh, but yeah, once we got through that, really my third season was probably our first normal season because we had that first season which was like a spring season, which was weird. And then like 3 months later, we had our fall season. Uh, and then the next season, I would say, was kind of the more uh, normal season. So, but yeah, with all that, it was good. It was a challenge, and um, it was an interesting challenge. But yeah, it was fun. I would say like the last 3 years now have been really fun. Getting to know the recruits that we recruited and kind of know them beyond volleyball too now. As we kind of, I mean, now we have like girls that are like 2, 3 years out of college, that are getting married and stuff. That it's fun to just kind of stay in touch with them. And so yeah, it's been a fun 5 years and um, challenging and exciting. And yeah, now looking forward to a new challenge.
No doubt. You touched on a little bit in being in high school, but you're also the club director there at one of the programs in Bismarck. But working with different levels of volleyball, how has that shaped your point of view or point of direction when leading the program and player development?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly, I've coached every grade possible so far. Um, and yeah, I mean, honestly, college is more, managing, I guess, rather than coaching. I mean, obviously you're coaching, um, but it's a lot more like managing, I think. Like I always say, like coaching first, second, third, fourth grade is sometimes harder than it is college because sometimes it's like wrangling cats with those age groups. But
Hmm.
no, I mean, I think every age group kind of has its own um, pros and cons. Obviously, there's more pros since I continue to do it. I mean, coaching's probably the best job ever, but yeah, I mean, you learn things like coaching first graders that you're like, oh, I can use that later on, and so yeah, I think they're all just very unique. Each of them has their own kind of cool things. Like seventh, eighth graders are really fun to work with because they're just sponges. Like you tell them one thing and they absorb it and they do it, and it's fun to see how fast those players can get better. And then like fourth, fifth, sixth grade, my daughter is gonna go into sixth grade now, and I've been coaching her for like 5 years now. Um, I mean, and that age group is just fun because they just like are. You'll tell them to go run a mile, and they're just like, okay, they just like
Hmm.
want to be part of something. So they're just having fun and yeah. And then once you get up to like the 16s, 18s level of club, that's when the competition really seeps in and they just want to compete and you kind of see that like fire in them where if they lose, they're getting upset, which is some people think that might be bad, but I think that's good. It shows that they really have passion for the sport, and Um, so yeah, I think every age group has its own cool things to it.
For sure. Let's talk about the transition from JUCO to NAI. What does the transition process look like behind the scenes, going to a four-year university?
I mean, just a lot of um, just a lot of little things that we're getting taken care of. I'm constantly, texting some of these other new coaches that I've met now and saying like, "Hey, how do you guys do this? How does this go? How's your like, what's your summer plans?
Hmm.
Um, what's this and that?" And I think the volleyball community is very willing to help out, which has made it really easy. I've been in touch now with Michelle at Valley City and Stormy at Dickinson State and Aubrey at Rocky Mountain, and they've all been very helpful on, just the simplest things like, hey, what's the game ball that we use? Does it have to be red, white, blue? Can it be green and white like for BSC? Just like little things like that to, like scheduling, like, hey, do you guys stay at the same hotel back to back? And, just, I don't know, little things like that. So it's been a lot of that, just kind of like making sure everything's in order. Yeah, and then like on the recruiting side of it, kind of now that we have like 4-year programs, we're kind of switching mindset is kind of switching from like, hey, this is a good place to start before you want to move on to a 4-year school. Now
Hmm.
we kind of got to be like, hey, this is a good place to start and finish.
Yeah.
So recruiting's been a little different. At NJCAA, you couldn't meet with any players until the June of their senior year.
Hmm.
Now you can meet with sixth graders. I mean, there's yeah,
And
there's no. So we've been, kind of reaching out to some sophomores, some juniors, and so that's really different too because they have no idea what they want to do. I mean, sometimes seniors don't have any idea what they want to do, but um, so yeah, just a lot of different stuff, but I think just, you got to kind of take it like day by day. Um, it's way too big of a mountain if you kind of think of it all at once. So just kind of taking it day by day.
in pieces, definitely. And that's what's great about the NEI. You're able to meet with whoever you want, when you want, and talk to them. There's no dead period or open period like that. But
Yep.
you talked about recruiting, training, all that different things, going into a four-year school. But I'm not too sure if you had your full team on campus yet with incoming freshmen and stuff like that. But I imagine it gives you a chance to look ahead right now while you're still in the summer. But what most excites you about the roster that's coming in this fall?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, half of our roster was kind of built looking at a 2-year program.
Mm,
We kind of, we had some recruits already commit before we made the
for
the
sure.
announcement that we were jumping to NAIA. So, um, and then we have some that are like, oh, now we can go 4 years. So, like we have a couple juniors coming back that obviously we didn't have prior to that. So,
Mm,
but yeah, we've been having, like weekly open gyms. A lot of them are really like, they show up. We don't really, I mean, I don't know, maybe the sophomores and juniors are putting pressure on the freshmen. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see. We have like 12, 13, 14, 15 at open gyms all every week. And just watching them play, I know it's not as structured as like a practice or anything like that, but just kind of watching them play is exciting. It's like, oh, yeah, we could, oh, all we have to change is maybe that little footwork thing or
mm.
ooh, look at that, just kind of um it's almost like, that Christmas morning, like, let's see what kind of toys we have to play with now.
Yeah.
So,
Mm,
but yeah, it's just been fun watching them play. It's been fun, like, seeing them get to know each other.
mhm.
I think that's a hard thing too, is like, you don't want to start the season with a bunch of strangers. So the more they play together in the summer, the more they just kind of get to know each other little by little.
Mhm.
And then we'll, uh, we'll kind of go from there. So,
For sure. And you guys are
yeah,
jumping
sorry.
into you guys are jumping into a tough Frontier Conference. Are there any stretches down the season or matches that you're excited for?
Really kind of everything. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun to play obviously the North Dakota teams. Um, like I said, I've gotten kind of close to like Rocky Mountain and Dickinson and Valley, and their coaches and their programs. We've been playing Dickinson and Valley kind of last few years, either JV matches or scrimmages, stuff like that. So um, it'll be kind of fun to play them now, like for real, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I have my brother-in-law lives out in Great Falls, so it'll be kind of fun to go out there and kind of see some family too. And um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not really anything that's like, oh, circle that date or anything. It's kind of just, I mean, it's fun all around. Just, I mean, we're gonna have new venues to play at, new teams, new programs, new, strategies. So yeah, it'll be fun.
As you guys are jumping into the NAI, you guys are going to welcome a lot more fans, recruits, a lot of new eyes on Bismarck State. What do you think in your eyes sets apart Bismarck from other schools, universities that most people might not know about?
Oh, I mean, for sure the community. I was a student here,
Hmm.
and I knew that, I when you're a student here, you feel the community support, whether it's from, obviously the teachers, but um, even just alumni that are around that come back to a lot of athletic events. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing I think. The faculty is constantly at volleyball games, at basketball games, at the baseball, softball games. They don't just come and teach and then go home every night. They come back and they support the athletes and the community backing. I mean, especially like, well, with volleyball, obviously, the volleyball community in Bismarck, just rec players that play volleyball want to come watch volleyball. So, I mean, the community is huge. I mean, we're constantly, packing our gym. Um, like I'll never forget last year at our region tournament championship against Wapton and DSCS. I
Hmm.
mean, it was literally standing room only. There was the bleachers were completely packed. The There was no wall space. Everybody was standing around the wall. I remember I think it was either a softball or basketball team that just came back from being gone for like 4 or 5 days at a preseason tournament
Hmm.
or preseason matches. And instead of going home right away after being gone for almost a week, they stayed and watched our game,
Hmm.
which I mean just shows that
The community.
they support each other. Athletes support athletes. Coaches support other athletes, from other sports. So that's, I mean, 100% sincerely, that's the biggest thing about BSC is just the community backing, the support for academics, the support for athletics, the support for, just whatever's going on. So I think that's the biggest thing.
For sure, sounds like BSC is a great community to be at. As a recruiting standpoint,
Yeah.
what are you looking for in some players? Let the recruits know what you're looking for when you build your roster.
Yeah, number one is never going to change. We always look for just good people,
Hmm.
that's never going to change no matter if you're in middle school or, recruiting for Nebraska volleyball. I think that should always be number one is just you recruit the person first. But I mean, in terms of just like skill, I mean, I know we've been watching like the Frontier and the new Frontier, the North Star teams from last year and the Frontier teams from last year. Um, and the number one thing I think that they do that maybe we haven't seen a lot of is a bigger middle presence.
Hmm.
Their middle hitters are bigger, they're a little bit faster. They're a little bit more dynamic than we're used to in the junior college world.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the biggest things that we're going to have to look at recruiting is like fast, big middle blockers. And fortunately, I mean, we have a pretty good athlete, or we have pretty good athletes in Bismarck, in the high schools and the surrounding areas. Dickinson, Minot, Fargo, all the smaller towns around us. I mean, we have some pretty good athletes here, so we're not going to have to, venture out to,
Very far.
Texas and California and Florida to find athletes. I think we have a lot of athletes around here. It's just kind of, you know, I don't know if our high school athletes have seen that type of play, unless they're playing like club and going to like, big national tournaments. But so yeah, that'll be the biggest thing is kind of finding players to match, those other like middles. In terms of like setters and outsides, I mean, I think we're kind of right on par with the league. Um, but yeah, that middle presence will be kind of something new that we'll have to handle this year.
For sure. Before we wrap up, where can we find you guys on social media for people that want to follow along throughout the season or this fall?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, BSC Mystics Volleyball, Facebook, Bismarck State College Volleyball. Um, so yeah, check us out. Cheer for us. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun
Yeah,
year.
no doubt. I'll be definitely following along as you guys transition to the NAIA. But Coach, thanks for joining us. It's been great to hear about this new chapter of BSC as they join not only the Frontier but the NAIA, like I said. But this wraps up episode 3 of the Coach's Corner here on the NAIA Women's Volleyball page. Coach, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day.